Yeah, I mean, going back to your early years, did you have a different definition of success when you were a lawyer, for example? How did you look at winning? Was it that simple?
No, I think there's a degree of winning, but I think there's a degree of sometimes, probably in my early days, a sense of mental satisfaction when you find something or you learn something, which wasn't about winning, but it was about, it probably was actually. And I think, and probably success then probably had a big financial element to it.
And at school, was it? I mean, in my school, it was very competitive. Sports was, that's where I think we begin to learn that winning matters more than somehow as if it matters only, not the actual game itself. But what was your education like? Was it similar?
Yeah, very sport. So I mean, it was competitive from the age of about probably 7, and it was competitive with loads of rules. I mean, weird rules, which sort of in a way teaches you to break the rules. Like there'd be a quadrangle of grass, and if you were a senior, you could walk over the quadrangle, but if you weren't a senior, you couldn't. So of course, when you were not a senior, you'd try and break the rules and walk across the grass and so on.
And do you think that breaking the rules is good or bad?
Depends on my position. If I'm an employer, it's bad. But I think it's mixed.
I think it's quite fitting for the times we live in now, isn't it? I think a lot of people find rules quite difficult to handle, right? It's do I follow the rules or not?
Yeah.
Are the rules there to help me? I mean, we all know with the mask scenario, 3 months ago it didn't matter if you wear a mask, and now it's absolutely critical. So.
I think if people explain the rules, and there's a good reason for it that we can trust, then I'm probably okay with it. But I think, and I'm okay with it right now because I sort of have a sense that this is what we need to do to help people feel safe. I think that people need, we're getting a bit political here, but people need strong, clear guidance, a strong, clear strategy. It's probably the same in work to a degree, without so much strong. And I think right now having clear rules, so in lockdown it was really simple because you could do this and you couldn't do that. I think as we come out of lockdown, then it gets a little bit more complicated because people aren't really sure, is it 2 meters, is it 1 meter, do I wear a mask, don't I wear a mask? If I'm standing behind a counter, I don't wear a mask, but if I'm standing in front of a counter, I do. I find that a little hard for me to get my head around. So I think there's a benefit in rules, like there's a benefit in discipline, that requires us to have a degree of trust in who's imposing it.